The Magic City. Bienvenido, Toledo. The Miami Hurricanes have touched down in Ohio looking to kick some glass. Malik Rozier doesn't care if by land or by air, but Toledo's defense is trying to turn this great American road trip comedy into Travis Homer's Odyssey. Today's game also presented by Johnson & Johnson. All-MAC receiver Deontay, Miami All-American Jaquan, trying to intercept some rockets in space. Join me, Kevin Brown, along with Heisman winner Andre Ware for the Clash of Cultures. South Florida versus Northwest Ohio. The 305 meets the 419. It's sure to be off the chain. Welcome to college football on ESPN, presented by ExxonMobil. And welcome to a fired-up glass bowl in Toledo, Ohio. One of the biggest fish they've ever had here in the home of the Rockets. The Miami Hurricanes are in town. Kevin Brown with Heisman Trophy winner Andre Ware. It is a fired-up, electric scene. The turnover chain is in the house. Turnover chain 2.0, which made its debut last week. And this Miami team was stoking the flames earlier. DJ Dallas and the Canes getting right in the face of the launch pad, the Rocket student section. Mark Richt and Miami are on the road again at a Group of 5 school, and this is not going to be an easy one for the Hurricanes, who have lost to LSU and beaten Savannah State, and they get one of the best Group of 5 teams we've seen in the past half decade. Toledo will receive. It will be Deontay Johnson, the All-MAC returner, off the kick from Bubba Baxa. And here we go from the glass bowl with an opening touchback.
Important for Toledo to avoid mistakes in this ball game early and to get Mitchell Guadagni, the quarterback, off to a good start and in rhythm.
Well, last year these teams played. It was a back-and-forth one down in Miami. That was Logan Woodside's team, the all-time leading passer in Toledo history. But here is Mitchell Guadagni, the redshirt junior from Hudson, Ohio, outside of Cleveland, making his second career start. The first was 2 weeks ago against VMI, which went winless in the FCS. The level of competition has changed for these Rockets as Shaquille Seymour gets nothing on first down.
Yeah, Miami's going to keep at least 7 in the box to stop the run here early against this Toledo offense.
They've got a bright young head coach in Jason Candle, who succeeded Matt Campbell, who took over the Iowa State job a few years ago. The reigning coach of the year in the MAC, 22-7 in his Toledo time. Rockets 11-3 a year ago. They have been giant killers in this stadium. This as giant as it gets. Nice easy throw. Guadagni to Seymour. Out of the backfield and to the midfield stripe. 24 yards on the pitch and catch.
Miami likes to bring pressure on second and long. Manny Diaz, the defensive coordinator, they bring Michael Pinckney and they leave Shaquille Seymour unaccounted for.
Toledo goes with some tempo. Guadagni with a shot on first down. He overthrew Deontay Johnson. Good coverage on the play for Miami's Michael Jackson to bring up second down.
Yeah, when I talked to Brian Wright, I asked him last night, how do you get Mitchell Guadagni in rhythm early? And it's usually a pass. Some guys, it takes a run, it takes contact, an easy completion. Last week it was a bubble screen. We saw there the first completion to Seymour, but we look for him to run the ball here with Miami in a 4-2 front, and especially trying to get back on schedule offensively to bring up third and medium.
The running back is Seymour. He'll take it. And it's not going to be third and medium. It's going to be third and awfully long. Gerald Willis, who was a menace in the backfield on opening day, gets the tackle for a loss. And there is Manny Diaz, the ferocious defensive coordinator. What do you dial up here, Andre, on 3rd and 13?
Yeah, they'll go to their nickel package, a 3-4 look, but they'll bring some pressure. Look for a linebacker to come in to get to the face of Mitchell Guadagni and not allow him to wait for routes to develop. Man-to-man on the outside, and here comes a linebacker right over the right guard.
Guadani gets it off, runs the option on 3rd and long, and Toledo has to punt. Another loss on the play of 3. Trajan Bandy came up from his cornerback spot, and the Hurricanes get a stop.
Yeah, they were hoping to catch Miami on an inside blitz and maybe give up the edge where the corners were in man coverage and as well over the slot receiver would have their backs turned, sneak and get an option play, and maybe break it for the first down. Miami, nice heads-up play defensively.
Punt is away from Bailey Flint. Jeff Thomas will let it bounce out of bounds. Miami offense will take the field for the first time today.
Well, here's the test for Brian George, the defensive coordinator for Toledo. Cannot allow Miami to get off to a fast start. They've been a notoriously slow starting team under Malik Rozier, only averaging 3.2 yards per carry in the first half of their 2 ball games this year.
This is the man of the hour, Malik Rozier, redshirt senior, second-year starter for the Canes. Questions about whose job this is at quarterback, and Rozier with an inauspicious start. Nate Childress bats down his first pass at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Big Nate became a starter on October 7th against Eastern Michigan last year, and he's never left the starting lineup. Good athlete who threw the shot put in high school and was a basketball player as well. This seems to get better each and every week for the Rockets.
Second down, an easy throw here. Get it to Jeff Thomas in space, which is normally a good recipe. He picks up 9 to set up 3rd and short. So the question, Andre, what kind of Malik Rozier are we going to get? Struggled against LSU. Last week, a game with Savannah State, an FCS opponent. Nicosia Perry played quite a lot in relief. It is Rozier's job. But there are folks around Miami that would like to see some of the freshman Perry. We'll see what the situation is. Right now, it's certainly Malik Rozier's job as he pushes forward for a first down. He does, though, need to be more accurate passing.
Yeah, he does. And I don't care who you put under center. You've got to have protection. The offensive line, only 2 starters returning from last year. They've struggled. They've struggled to create space in the running game. They've struggled to provide pass protection for Malik Rozier. Anybody. They could bring back Jim Kelly. He would struggle if you can't get protection to throw the football.
Rozier gets it away quickly here. There's a lot of contact up top, but no flag against Darrell Langham. Coverage by Justin Clark, who maybe is the top cover corner on this Toledo team.
Yeah, and I thought Justin Clark actually interfered with the receiver to the top of the screen. They're a little bit early, too much hands after 5 yards right there. He got him wrapped up, ball's on the way. Thought a flag should have been thrown there.
Rozier on second down to the pocket. Hit as he delivers. And the pass is reeled in at midfield by Langham. 16 yards for Darrell Langham.
Well, nice job of standing in, and you see even when he gets the ball out, there's pressure in his face, showing some toughness and getting that one out and completed.
Second catch of the year for Langham, who's getting the start once again today for Amon Richards, the ultra-talented junior, out with a knee injury.
They'll run here.
It is Homer. This was not a great run defense last year for Toledo. They are very young up front. Could be Miami's biggest opportunity on offense.
In their first game, they only allowed to VMI 48 yards on the ground, but not a good benchmark in which to measure it by.
That was an 0-11 FCS team, and already they're getting a feel for what Miami can do. Richard Olakema with a stop. A first down gain for Homer.
Yeah, Brian George told me that one of the first things, the keys to their defense, was to stop the run. And this 3-4 look, if I'm the quarterback, I'm checking to the run. See 3 defensive linemen down. I'm checking to the run every single play until you get out of that look. That is an inviting look to run the football against.
Homer with a third straight, tries the right side, gets 2. Miami, you mentioned it, 2.4 yards per carry against LSU, and that same number in the first half last week against Savannah State. They are struggling to find gaps behind this fairly inexperienced offensive line.
Yeah, and he's not afraid, Brian George, to bring pressure. He says, hey, we've got good receivers. We can play man-to-man, and with that, second, third, and long, we'll bring some pressure against Malik Rozier.
Homer flips it behind to Thomas. Rozier throws a block, and Thomas has a first down and more. The speedy sophomore cuts into the 15 with a block from his quarterback en route to 19 yards.
How about Malik Rozier throwing a nice block to free up Jeff Thomas, who might be the fastest player on the field. But watch number 12 throw a nice block to seal it, working against a big defensive lineman in Lucas Maynard. And the rest is just on the shoulders of Jeff Thomas, a terrific wide receiver.
DJ Dallas, the running back on this first down play. Dallas has the football, squirming free of a couple of defenders, and finally dragged down to the 5.
Tyler Tay brings him down, who had 48 tackles a year ago, starting all 14 games. But it's just going to be tough when you have a front where you only have 3 defensive linemen. That's an inviting situation for the running game. You don't have to do much in the passing department. You just run the football.
They've done that on 5 straight plays. Make it 6. Dallas cannot get to the outside here. Cut down by the star safety, DeDarlo Blue.
That's a heck of a play by Blue. There plays their star position, so it's like a 4-2-5 look, and he's fast enough to play man-to-man on a lot of slot receivers, but as well an excellent blitzer off the edge, and there in the right place to bring down DJ Dallas.
Rozier will take it himself on second and goal, and practically untouched, he scores.
When Tyler Tape adjusted and went outside on a slot receiver to basically go double coverage, and they just left the middle of the field, Kevin, wide open. Quarterback draw, you can hand it off, but a little soft in the middle of that Rocket defense.
A 76-yard drive for Miami to quiet these Toledo fans for the moment. 52 of the 76 yards on the ground. 7 straight runs to end it with Malik Rozier.
Nice block by Rozier here for Jeff Thomas to pick up a nice first down. And hey, I'm going to quiet the critics. Quarterback draw and get myself in the end zone. Miami up 7-0.
Longest drive of the season for Miami. What so far is their longest trip of the season? Why in the world Miami is at Toledo? A question a lot of folks were asking this week. This is the 4th straight year Miami's had a game scheduled at a Group of 5 team. Last year they canceled the game with Arkansas State. This was announced back in 2010. Mike O'Brien, the athletic director here, was close with Kirby Hocutt, the then AD at Miami. That may have had something to do with it. They worked together at Kansas State, although Kirby says he doesn't recall why the game was scheduled. But it's a program, Miami, Andre, that isn't exactly in the same financial stratosphere as the Alabamas, the Texases, the LSUs of the world. They are a smaller private school, and so you will see Miami be a little bit more aggressive about going on the road and having fewer guarantee games where you have to pay big money to get a school to come to your place.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Texas can say, hey, we're going to pay you $1 million, $1.5 million to come to our place and play us here. Michigan, USC, those schools are, it's just different. Miami, you're leasing a stadium for the year, so that's money that's going out, and you're going to pay Toledo to come to Miami. It's just not going to happen. So therefore, you see them on the road playing teams like Arkansas State, Appalachian State, and then today against Toledo.
2 years ago, the 45-10 win at App State. A shot here for Guadani, knocked away by Romeo Finley. An excellent coverage against John Vay Johnson.
I need to see, the weapons of this offense get involved. Cody Thompson, where's Deontay Johnson? I know John Vay Johnson is one of those three receivers that they like to go to and has had a lot of success, but I want to hit a guy in stride where he can catch and run and not have to go up in 50-50 a ball against some pretty good defensive backs from Miami.
It's one of the best wide receiving cores in the nation, but an inexperienced quarterback, and Guadani is taken down. Thrown to the turf by Sheldrick Redwine.
Boy, taken down because there was just blanket coverage in the secondary by Jaquan Johnson, the safety, and Michael Jackson, the corner, working against John Vay Johnson and Cody Thompson. I mean, there was nowhere to go with this football for Mitchell Guadani. Got to find him some easy throws like the one he had to Seymour to start the game, but definitely a passing situation here.
3rd and 17 for Toledo. Guadani on the move again, nearly intercepted. Knocked away at the sideline in a collision between player and coaches.
Well, number one, Kevin, the offensive line is going to have to hold up to give this youngster some time to throw the football. There's been a couple of breakdowns up front early where there was someone in the face of Mitchell Guadani, so it forces him out of the pocket. Secondly, you want to hit some crossing routes, guys where you're running away from a defensive back and not having to win vertically all the time.
And that was Trajan Bandy who got his hands on the football. The punt by Flint. Thomas will let it roll away down to the 30. Kick of 52 yards. A 3 and out for Toledo. So far, so good for Miami here on the road in Ohio.
ESPN College Football is presented by the unexpected energy of ExxonMobil. Energy lives here. And in part by Audi.
Look, I know a turnover chain's pretty cool, but Toledo has an actual rocket outside the stadium. That's from the United States Army. Andre Ware, procured in 1961 to sit outside the northeast corner of the Glass Bowl.
That thing looks dangerous, man.
Allegedly, as the legend goes, that rocket is pointed at the 50-yard line of Toledo's rival Bowling Green, 25 miles away from here. I don't know that it's going to make it to South Beach.
Already, they've changed some things up front. 7 in the box now, and now you get some man-to-man on the outside.
And Rozier will give it to Travis Homer. The last Miami drive ending with 7 consecutive runs, with Rozier taking it in from 5 out.
And that's what you get when you pack the box with more. Now you've got extra bodies unaccounted for by the offensive line. You're going to have some success in stopping this running game of Miami. Now what do? They readjust, change things up a little bit. Extra receiver in the game, and look for Miami and Malik Rozier to throw the football here.
They got a tight end, Will Mallory, split out to the right, true freshman. Running back is Homer, and Rozier will look to throw. He's taking a shot for Jeff Thomas. Whole lot of contact there.
Yeah, just let him play.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good no call by the officials. Thomas was, trying to get by the defensive back, and all of a sudden he trips up. But that's a nice job by the officials of just letting him play. Like the eyes of Rozier, looking the coverage to the left side of the formation. And Kadar Holman in a nice position on working against the speedster Jeff Thomas.
If anything, that would have been an offensive pass interference flag. Seemed like good coverage by Holman, who wanted the flag.
And he's asking for it.
It's 3rd and long, though, and we get a whistle.
It's the first timeout of the half.
First timeout taken by the Hurricanes. A 3rd and long for Mark Richt's crew on the other side from the Glass Bowl. Mark Richt's offense was one of the worst on 3rd downs in the country last year, 28.8% That was 126th out of 130 FBS teams, one spot behind Kansas. And 2 weeks ago, they did not convert a third down in the first half against LSU.
Yeah, 3 defensive linemen here. So now it's dealer's choice. Even if it's 3rd and 10, you feel good about protecting the quarterback, but it wouldn't surprise me if Malik Rozier turns around and hands this baby off for a draw play to Travis Homer.
Well, and there you have it. Homer on the 3rd down handoff, and he picks up only 4.
Excellent job by the defensive front, as well as the second level, the linebackers. Olakama, as well as Tafe, moving around, making some plays. Zachary Ford out of the secondary, coming up to help out as well.
First punt coming for Zach Fiegels, who has had a tough couple of weeks. Nearly had his first one blocked against LSU and shanked a couple after that. Fiegels gets control of a nearly wayward snap, and that one was almost blocked. Fielded at the 25-yard line by Denzel McKinley-Lewis, and a run back of 10 yards for Toledo and the redshirt junior out of Pittsburgh. Well, the big one tonight is in Arlington, Texas. Ohio State and TCU, the final game before Urban Meyer returns from his 3-game suspension as the Horned Frogs go giant hunting. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC and live on the ESPN app. Worth noting, if you believe in good omens, College Game Day was at Fort Worth today. TCU 6-0 when Game Day visits Fort Worth. Tompkins takes the first down handoff, spins off a tackler all the way to the 46 for 12 yards. And we check in for the first time today with Chris Cotter.
Okay, Kevin, Andre, time for the PlayStation View Multi-View. These 3 live events. Syracuse has jumped out on top of Florida State right now over on ESPN. And Oklahoma and Iowa State, good one over on ABC. Iowa State without Kyle Kempt in that game, so they're with their backup quarterback. But as you can see, moving the football here against Oklahoma, we'll get a real good idea about the Sooners and how well they're playing this year when that game is all wrapped up, guys.
A lot of intriguing games, Chris, at the noon spot today. Last play to Deontay Johnson for 5. Now the running back Tompkins once again hit hard, about 1.5 yards. 3rd and short coming up for Toledo.
Boy, showing some speed. Bandy coming up from that corner spot. And a nice couple of passes to Deontay Johnson to get this drive started, but trying to create some tempo offensively is Toledo.
Good running quarterback here, and they empty the backfield. Toledo on a 3rd down. Guadani will take off. He'll slide just a little bit short of that first down marker as the officials have it.
That's where you got to know what the down and distance is, where you are on the field, and you got to dive head first. I know you're trying to avoid injury, but sometimes you got to lay it on the line for your team. And no hesitation here from Jason Candle. They're going to go for it.
They will empty the backfield again. 5 receivers for Guadani. Now a tight end in motion, Drew Rossi. Guadani keeps it, trying to find the left side. He is stopped short.
And a flag here and a false start. So it's going to be Miami's football. But he bounces it instead of going in the A gap or the B gap between the
4 players in the backfield. Penalty is declined. The ball was short of the line to gain. Miami ball, 1st and 10.
Instead of getting vertical right away, you're going to see Mitchell Guadani bounce this. There's an alley for him in which to pick up the first down. Follow the block, cut inside, right there, and just get vertical. Once he bounces it, forget about it. The speed of Miami just too fast.
It was a 3-year starter at middle linebacker Shaq Quarterman with the stop.
Boy, this is where I'd love to take a shot. Where's Jeff Thomas right now?
He's in the slot to the left. Rozier's not going to go that way. Miami's going to lose 2 on the ground Lorenzo Lingard, the true freshman, had nowhere to go. Blown up on the inside, and that Toledo front trying to assert itself after getting gashed early.
I'll tell you what, nice job of closing down inside from the backside of the plate. Watch him get under the left guard, Jones, who's pulling. You see him here fight through right into the doorstep of the ball carrier. That's good work.
Redshirt freshman Devontae Dunn made the stop. Rozier with a couple of backs again. On the run, chased by Dunn. That pass tipped off the hands of Toledo's Willie Ross Jr.
Yeah, nice job by the true freshman again. Coming clean and into the face and forcing Rozier out of the pocket. And here creating a nice 3rd and long situation. Now if you're Toledo, you can play those 3 linemen, keep everything in front of you, and make sure you make a tackle in the open field if there's a catch.
Rozier only 2 of 6 to start. Has to go for it here. Pulls it down. Takes off. Gets a block on the outside. And he is short of a first down. He needed the Toledo 44. And he's 4 yards shy.
I'll tell you what, Jason Candle had to have been holding his breath there because it looked like Rozier was going to come free and pick up the first down. Nice pressure with just a 4-man front. Tate comes off the edge, the middle linebacker, but they chase him out of the pocket, get the pressure necessary to pull his eyes away from downfield and force him to run the football.
Second punt coming for Feagles. Got it away cleanly, a high one. A fair catch called for and made it to 12 by McKinley Lewis. A punt of 37, no return. This is the second game of a home-and-home series, Miami and Toledo. They met at Hard Rock last year, and the Rockets led 16-10 at the half. Morgan Woodside had a very good game, threw for 3 touchdowns. It was the first game back after a 16-day layoff because of Hurricane Irma, and Miami said they got their conditioning back, their feet under them in the second half. They scored 42 after the break. Malik Rozier, one of his best career games. Mark Walton ran for 204 and a touchdown, and Miami pulled away late for a 52-30 win. Quarterback keeper here in Guadani has nowhere to run. Joe Jackson, who is a very high talent at defensive end, takes him down for a loss of 2.
Yeah, it's his 3rd year in the rotation. Been playing since he was a freshman. Powerful, strong. He's tried to add some speed to his game this offseason. We'll watch him chase it down. Doesn't overrun it. Quarterback's coming right at him and makes a nice play.
Already, Andre, 5 tackles for loss for Miami. Guadani, almost a 6th. He gets away and shows that elusiveness. Mitchell Guadani is right at the line to gain before Jaquan Johnson ran him out.
Tell you what, the franchise took a false step, and Guadani made him pay and picks up a first down here. The All-American Johnson in the secondary. Just kind of watch here, number 4. Will come into your screen. Right about there, takes a bad angle and underestimates the athletic ability and speed of Mitchell Guadani.
Enough for a first down, Toledo.
We're packing the box, thinking run on first down. Where is Deontay Johnson, Cody Thompson, Javea Johnson?
Guadani was looking for Thompson. Now he has him. Flag is thrown. Guadani was awfully close to that line of scrimmage. It's a big play, 20 yards as it stands, but there's a marker.
I think it's going to be a hold. They catch one of these big grunts up front for Toledo. Holding.
Holding. Offense. Right guard. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Brandon Heidecker is the right guard, and that wipes up a 20-yard play.
Yeah, he missed the entire year, slown by an early MCL sprain in camp. Had a solid game against Miami a year ago, but I tell you what, he wants that play back. No doubt about it.
1st and 20 in the closing seconds of the opening quarter. Toledo trying to get the ball to its 3 former all-conference receivers. Instead, here they keep it on the ground. And Tompkins is sandwiched after 13. Heck of a play to get him back to manageable second down range.
That's an excellent play call. 6 in the box. That's telling you, let's run the football. Nice play call there by Jason Candle, the head coach.
Go empty again on likely the final snap of the quarter. Move Tompkins into the backfield. And Guadani got it off in time. A dance forward for Tompkins for 2. 3rd and 4 coming up when we begin the second quarter.
That's the end of the first quarter.
A 7-0 lead for the Miami Hurricanes on the road at Toledo. A loss to LSU, a blowout of Savannah State. Today may be an indication of what is the real you. So far, so good for the Canes. This season, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections and passionate fans like the Midnight Blue and Gold clad ones at Toledo by awarding the best student section of the year. Rocket student section already on the national watch list. Visit ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. Kevin Brown, Andre Ware. Andre Toledo 0 for 3 on 3rd down in that first quarter. Got another big one to start the second.
Yeah, the playbook's open now. 3rd and medium. You can open it up. You're looking at the front. Can you run the football 4-2 front or 4-1? The way they're setting up right now tells me, yeah, you certainly run the football in this situation. 2 safeties high. I would think Jason Candle's going to run the ball here.
Yes, Art Tompkins has the back.
Well, that discounts that
Not anymore.
Unless it's a quarterback draw.
6 straight runs for Toledo. Guadani nowhere to throw. A flag is down. And he is taken down for a loss of 2 by Shaq Quarterman.
Starting to show some inexperience, Kevin. Looking at the rush. That's a bad thing for a young quarterback. Feeling it when it's not there. Stand in the pocket, read things out, and trust your eyes down the field. Also, trust the 5 guys in front of you.
Guadani making his 2nd career start.
Holding, number 67, offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Sammy Kassim, who is the left guard, the redshirt senior. And Miami already has 6 tackles for loss and a couple of sacks in the game.
Yeah, you feel pressure, step up in the pocket, but keep your eyes down the field, let the routes develop. And you know you should be protected. They're just rushing 4. You got 5 to block 4.
3rd punt, Bailey Flint. This is a high one and not returnable for Jeff Thomas. A fair catch at his own 39. 36 yards of the punt. Let's hear from Chris Cotter.
Time for DirecTV. More for your college football thing. Kyler Murray will play fake here. Finds his favorite receiver, Marquise Brown, behind the defense. He's going to take it 75 yards. 10-0 Oklahoma on top over on ABC.
Wow. Cotter, they got to be crazy if they don't have Kyler Murray on their Heisman watch list this early. And I want you to know, I got a workout in this morning.
I'm glad America knows that now.
I wanted Cotter to know it because I know he got one in.
Malik Rozier keeps it. Good play fake to Dallas. And Rozier, who is a very mobile quarterback, runs for 11 yards to midfield. All right, you want Kyler Murray on your Heisman odds, Andre, or you want him on your Heisman favorites early? He's not in the top 4.
He should be.
Oh, who's he going to replace?
He should be there. Squeeze him in somewhere. I mean, who says Vegas is the do-all, know-it-all? I mean,
I say that.
No.
Tua Tagovailoa is the leader. We saw him last week. Dwayne Haskins is a big one tonight. Ohio State, TCU, 8 o'clock Eastern ABC in Fort Worth. Or in Arlington, beg your pardon, at AT&T Stadium.
How can you not have a guy on the list that's outdoing the guy that won it a year ago?
Well, we're 2 games in. He's
with the same player.
He's played FAU and UCLA.
He's outplayed last year's winner to this point. So, how do you not have him on your list?
He was 5th, probably. We didn't have enough space for him on the graphic. That was Brian Hightower, the true freshman, with his 2nd career catch. And Rozier goes quickly to Mike Harley to the 40 of Toledo. Looks to be enough for a Miami 1st down.
I like how Rozier's settling into this game, just being a distributor. Playing point guard, distribute the football. You got a lot of playmakers around you. Stand in and really credit Miami's offensive line to this point, giving and providing protection. They were averaging about a little over 5 yards a carry for the first quarter. Nice job up front by the big guys.
Actually, one of the officials had that spotted a little bit short. So 3rd and a yard or so with Dallas behind Gray. Give it to the fullback, Trayon Gray, and he plunges forward 3 yards and a Miami first down.
We're appreciative of the carry there. Big, tough lead blocker. Trayon Gray is, and so anytime he gets to tote the football, he is certainly happy to do so.
Well, remember Miami's cratering finish to the season last year.
Yeah.
They have not defeated an FBS opponent in 302 days. November 18th of last year against Virginia. That's the last time Miami's won in the FBS. 4 straight losses to FBS opponents. Toledo trying to take down its first ranked opponent in 3 years. Rozier up top. It's Jeff Thomas. It's a touchdown for the Canes. 38 yards. That was easy to the explosive sophomore from East St. Louis.
Way too easy, my man. And that's one of the things Brian George, the defensive coordinator for Toledo, told us. They could not give up big plays. They're concerned about the deep play ability of a guy like Jeff Thomas, the speed of what Miami's receivers, and that's just going by everybody. The safety who's already back there, you cannot allow that one.
Thomas had a 67-yard touchdown catch last week. Scores from 38 here. Rozier has run for a touchdown and passed for one. The somewhat embattled redshirt senior off to a good start in Toledo.
For more MAC events, sign up now for ESPN+.
2-touchdown lead for Miami on the road against Jason Candle's Toledo Rockets. And the 3rd-year head coach, 2 weeks to prepare for this game, has been shredded in a couple of ways by Malik Rozier. A 38-yard touchdown pass to Jeff Thomas, a 5-yard touchdown run. John Richt and Mark Richt have stuck by Rozier despite some accuracy issues.
I think it's because of his experience and knowledge of the offense. One of those youngsters, and N'Kosi Perry, talented arm talent. Cade Weldon, another talented young player. But right now, Malik Rozier holding him off.
Right now, what can the other quarterback do? Mitchell Guadagni, in his 2nd career start, replacing the all-time leading passer in Rockets history, Logan Woodside. He has felt the heat.
Got to find him a way to get some easy completions, and right now it's tough. Look at how Miami's lined up. I mean, it's man-to-man across the board. They packed the box and just daring you to throw it.
First touch for Brian Koback, the transfer from Kentucky. Falls forward for 2. Number 1 Alabama may have a bit of a test on its hands tonight at Young secondary against perhaps the best wide receiving unit in the country, and Ole Miss. 7 Eastern, 6 Central down in the Grove on ESPN and live on the app. I saw earlier this week that the over-under total for this game per Vegas is the highest over-under in a game featuring a Nick Saban team in Nick Saban's career. Expect points. How about this catch? Deontay Johnson, and a great throw to boot from Guadagni.
Yeah, he is a specialist at making this over-the-shoulder catch along the sideline, and Mitchell Guadagni needed this. I mean, he needed a completion. Receiver makes a nice play and adjusting to the football. Toledo right back with tempo at the line of scrimmage.
Deontay Johnson set the school record for receiving yards last year.
Where's Cody Thompson now?
Thompson top of the screen. It'll be a give to Koback, and that's another tackle for a loss. Miami in the backfield once more. Mike Smith, the reserve linebacker, leading the charge there.
Yeah, Jason Candle's going to have to start throwing it on first down. Hurricanes playing run on first down, making it very, very tough to execute in a running game. So how do you loosen that up? You got to throw the football, some quicks, some slants. Get the ball out quickly on first down.
Motion Kobach here. Guadani will keep it, gets a block, slips forward out to the 40-yard line. Drew Rossi, the tight end, had the block in front. It's a gain of 4 to set up 3rd and 8.
You know, last week we talked about that as a quarterback. There are games where you know it's just going to be a tough physical game. This is one for Mitchell Guadani. He's going to take some hits. And that ice bath I talked about last week, well, it comes into play for him as well. This is where you got to toughen up, show some tough skin, you know, some tough skin, and know and put your body on the line at certain times to make plays for your offense.
Won the job in the summer over Eli Peters. Has it for 3rd and 8 with time, and a strike to Cody Thompson for a first down.
And the spin move to go along with it to pick up another couple of yards. Been calling his name. Where are you, Cody Thompson? And he answers the call there in a big way. Nice job of the timing as well by Guadani getting the football out. Nice little out route, snaps it off nice and flat. And hey, I'm going to take it and give it away, but pre-snap penalty here. Going to back the Rockets up 5 yards.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Cody Thompson with a catch now in 32 consecutive games. That's the 2nd longest streak in the nation. And how about this crew? They're the first team, Andre, in FBS history to return 3 receivers that were all league at some point and had seasons, or at least one season, of 10 or more receiving touchdowns.
It gives you a lot of options in the passing game.
Kobach tripped up. There was Michael Pinckney just blowing that play up in the backfield for Miami.
And to my point, sometimes you have to throw the football on first down to open up the running game. Right now, they're just teeing off. This is a linebacker coming right through, down in a stance. Right there, you see him coming right off the edge and into the backfield, just teeing off. 8th tackle for a loss in 24 plays for the Hurricanes.
Guadani fakes one way, goes the other. Here's another big stick. The catch was made by Ronnie Jones, but Jaquan Johnson got him. And it's another 3rd and long for Toledo.
I like the play call. He's about an arm tackle away from that one turning into a big one. What do you do against the fast, speedy, aggressive defense? Some misdirection, a little bit of misdirection where you pump one way and get it out, but it's got to be quick. Mitchell Guadani coached up there to do it. Now 3rd down and maybe a little bit long here. Check the front. See if you can block it up. It looks like just a 3-man front, maybe a linebacker coming. Got plenty of time.
Guadani had some time at first. Now steps away from pressure. Needs to get across the 20 for a first down. He doesn't have it. John Garvin dragged him down from behind after 8 yards.
Yeah, it looks like he's got it. I'm going to move the chains. Oh, I'm sorry. Just too much to overcome. He's looking at the wrong marker there. But Toledo with an opportunity to get on the board here. And Jamison Vest, first-team all-back kicker. A lot of confidence in him. We're up to about 55 yards, so this shouldn't be a problem.
From 42 yards away, Jamison Vest. No good. 25 of 30 last year. He hooks this one.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by new Everlight from Fruit of the Loom. So light you won't even notice it. And Zekelman Industries, a leader in steel product manufacturing. Learn more at zekelman.com.
College football on ESPN presented by ExxonMobil. The Miami Hurricanes, who have not won a game against an FBS opponent in more than 300 days, are ahead 14-0 here in Toledo. Rematch of a game that was a 52-30 Miami win last year down in South Florida.
Yeah, starting to see Toledo's defense a little too often, a little too much, and asking them to keep in this game. They've had some stops early and been on the field a little bit too long.
A game that was billed as one of the biggest in the history of the Glass Bowl, which was built in 1936. They hosted a lot of Power 5 teams, but not many with the stature of the U. And right now they're playing like they're a bit afraid of the moment. Off the missed field goal by Vest, Travis Homer takes it for a yard. And we take a look and a listen to Chris Cotter.
Got an upset brewing. Let's go to Lincoln, Nebraska, already trailing 3-0, and Nebraska's going to give up this punt return for a score. Sedarius Ruckert makes a couple of nice moves. Uses his blockers down the field. There's another nice move at the 12-yard line to get into the end zone. 10-0, Troy on top.
Wow.
You know what? That's a good Troy team, though. Strong season out of the Sun Belt. Here's Thomas pushed out of bounds by Kadar Holman. Hey, Nebraska without Adrian Martinez. Lost a couple of quarterbacks before the season started, and this is not an easy one for Scott Frost. It is second game as Husker head coach.
And Neil Brown's done a nice job at Troy.
Sure has.
Building that thing, and they just somehow seem to keep some athletes where, and that's going to be a tough one for Nebraska all game long.
Jeff Thomas doesn't seem to know the formation, and Miami may want to talk this over.
Miami, second timeout of the first half.
Want to make sure number 4 knows where he's going.
Media
Third
timeout.
and 3 for Miami. Toledo needs a stop desperately. Big third down coming up for Toledo's defense, trying to get Miami off the field here in the Glass Bowl. Hey, this season, for every field goal and an extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to that university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, Allstate.
A huge third down here for Toledo. In terms of momentum, field position, got to get off the field right now.
Getting a little bit brighter here on this Saturday. The fog lifting around the Glass Bowl. It has been a hazy morning, and Toledo has played like it. Rozier hit as he throws, knocked away and incomplete. Josh Teachy, the 3-year starter at free safety, tipped it away from Brevin Jordan, and Toledo forces a stop.
Boy, they were bringing it. They had cover 0. Everybody packing the box, maybe thinking run, but certainly going to get to the quarterback. Look at this. Everybody in the frame right there. And on their way to Malik Rozier, got in his face. They got pass rush, had someone come loose, and that's excellent. An excellent job on the back end by Teachy, the safety.
Fiegels, his third punt. McKinley Lewis will take it at his own 26. And quickly taken down after a run back of 8, a punt of 42. You can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. Start your free trial today. Just download the ESPN app or visit ESPNplus.com. Have a flag at the 36-yard line right now to sort out at the end of that punt return.
Holding, number 21, return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Jason Candle thought they had a lot of self-inflicted wounds last year. And Toledo has been in the yellow so far today quite a bit. Lots of first-half penalties for Toledo.
Yeah, 3 penalties for 25 yards, and they have been at some pretty unopportune times where they've had drives going and get backed up, and then here it's pretty good field position, and they get backed up again.
I mean, it's 3, but it feels like more. There have been quite a few declined as well.
No doubt about it.
Miami, meanwhile, has not committed a penalty, and not at an accepted penalty anyway, in the game. Well, Guadani, the offense, trying to get something going, and it won't happen there. Pass batted away by Pat Bethel, a junior who is a Miami legacy. His dad, Randy, the tight end here, and Pat got his big paws on that first down throw.
And he goes right around Sammy Cassim, the right guard, and gets right in the face of Guadani, and that's a 3-step drop. So now you know that it's going to be hard to make a living if you can't get a pass off on a 3-step drop out of the shotgun.
Guadani, pocket collapses, and Gerald Willis flattens him.
To my point right there, you can't allow for routes to develop down the field. It's going to the outcome of this game for Toledo is going to hang on the 5 guys up front. Can you do your job? Can you hold up and allow the quarterback to read things out down the field and get the ball out?
Boy, were they good last year. Led the nation in sacks, 44 total, 3.4 per game. 3 sacks in the first half for the Canes. Willis trying to bull his way through 2. Guadani across his body and across the middle of the field. Incomplete with Reggie Gilliam in the area. And it's another dominant series by Miami's front.
We always talk about play callers getting in a rhythm. Well, defensive coordinators have to get in that rhythm as well. And you get a team in a position on the field that you want them, you can toy around with them a little bit. That's what Manny Diaz is doing. Showing blitz, backing out, showing the youngster Mitchell Guadani a lot of different looks and making him think a lot at the line of scrimmage.
Fair catch by Thomas off a fairly short kick by Flint. Toledo scored 36.5 per game last year. They didn't play Miami every game.
The College Football Playoff lives on ESPN.
ESPN College Football presented this season by ExxonMobil. Jason Candle trying to fire up his Toledo team. They have been flat so far. Miami's been in the backfield and seemingly every other play.
Yeah, that front of Miami's has been flat out dominant.
9 tackles for loss for the Hurricanes so far. They're back on offense from their own 42.
This is where excellent field position. Give me a shot right here. I mean, this is the time to take the shot.
Well, it's going to be time to back up 5 yards, it seems.
Yep.
Or maybe not.
Offside. Defense. Number 99 in the neutral zone calling the offense to react. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Tuzar skipper.
It's definitely time for a shot now.
Yeah.
1st and 5, and you're already close to midfield. Dial one up deep.
And a couple of freshman wide receivers, Brian Hightower and D. Wiggins in the game. No Thomas. Handed off DJ Dallas. Dallas with plenty of room through the middle and bouncing his way down to the Toledo 34. A run of 18 yards for Dallas, who was out messing with the Toledo fans and trying to fire up the Rocket student section before the game.
You know, he's an interesting story where he signed originally as a wide receiver and was about 180 pounds or so. Moved him to running back last year, and he's added a bunch of weight and something else.
He gets it once again following his blockers. You know how highly Miami thinks of DJ Dallas? Not just as a player. He is dating the daughter of the wide receiver coach, Ron Dugans. Can you imagine that? His daughter, Yasmin, who's a student at FIU.
And that's off limits.
By the way, Miami plays next week.
That's off limits on every campus, man. He's got to be a good kid.
There he was before the game, having a little fun with the Toledo fans, number 13.
Creeping close to the crowd. It's okay if you can back it up.
DJ was asked this week about this game and Toledo's upset-minded thoughts, and he said, "We're here to crush dreams." Give it to him one more time. Dallas running hard and running well. 7 yards, first down, Miami.
It's amazing that he's added the weight. Now he's 5'10", about 220 pounds. You know, run between the tackles. He still has the speed to get outside and make plays, and boy, he finishes runs.
Another heavy set with a couple of tight ends on first down. Play fake to Dallas this time. Rozier out of the pocket. On the run and dropped by his freshman tight end, Will Mallory.
When he had Mallory open way earlier in the middle of the field and just didn't feel like he could get him the ball. I mean, right there, he's wide open. He's still open. And then by the time you go to him, it's right behind, actually thrown behind him. You gotta have the confidence is the minute you come off the play fake, spin those shoulders around and let it go.
Rozier among the Power 5 quarterbacks, one of the least accurate last year, and that's part of the reason Miami had the struggles late in the season. And here he gives it to Dallas, who powers his way to the 8. First and goal coming up for the U. 15 more for DJ Dallas on the ground.
Well, no need to ask me what I would call here. I just give it right back to him. You know, he has been the workhorse on this drive. Doing a nice job, as I mentioned, finishing runs. You give it right back to him. 2 tight end set. Give it right back to him. 45 yards rushing on this drive for DJ Dallas.
Timeout, Toledo. First timeout of the first half.
Timeout taken by Toledo.
Media timeout.
We're back in 60 seconds to the Glass Bowl, where Miami's on the verge of a 3-score lead. DJ Dallas really burst out of the scene last year. His first key time at running back was in that 2-week stretch. Remember where the Canes beat Virginia Tech and Notre Dame at home, had a couple of rushing touchdowns against the Irish, and a 39-yard touchdown run to the Orange Bowl. And he's not fooling anybody now. Andre comes into this season as the backup running back, and he's been the bell cow on this drive.
Yeah, and he's making making a push. And I would go ahead and finish it with him on this drive. I mean, he's been the workhorse. Go ahead and let him finish this thing off.
Malik Rozier with a touchdown run. Also a 38-yard touchdown pass to Jeff Thomas. And Miami on the doorstep of more with a first and goal.
They're going to go empty and maybe see if they can get Rozier another quarterback draw here, but
well, they motion Homer, get it to him. Travis Homer on the sweep is pushed out of bounds at the 2. DeDarlo Blue got him 6 yards to set up second and goal.
Stay on the ground. The offensive line, who is still kind of coming into their own, have done a nice job in this ball game.
With some real struggles in the first half last week and all game against LSU with a run. They've been great today. Motion Homer again on the sweep. Rozier keeps it, plunges forward, touchdown. Second score on the ground today for Malik Rozier, his 3rd total. Dallas does the heavy lifting. Homer gets the Canes to the 2, and Rozier finishes it off.
Responsible for all 3 Miami scores. Malik Rozier having a first half to remember.
Talked about those accuracy issues, but he's such a good dual threat quarterback. Last season, he set the Miami single season total touchdown record with 31.
Well, he's tough now. You pull it down, he's not afraid. He's not going to shy away from contact.
And that's why they do love him. Hard-nosed kid. I like the way he performs under pressure, and it's been a pretty low-pressure scenario so far today, despite the raucous crowd. Miami's up by 21.
Yeah, a little window dressing there with Homer, but Rozier keeps it and gets himself into the end zone. Nice 1-2 punch between Homer and DJ Dallas.
Tomorrow, Week 2 NFL Sunday kicks off with Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern. Rex Charles, Matt, Randy, Mort, Shefty, Samantha, and whoever else stops by the studio. All your breaking stories and some big injury updates. Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, both questionable to go at last check. 10 a.m. Eastern, live on the ESPN app. Here's a former Toledo Rocket, Kareem Hunt.
Pretty good one. I didn't realize that he actually walked on here at Toledo, and then this took off, and certainly we all know what he's done with the Kansas City Chiefs. But that was news to me that he started his career here as a walk-on.
Bubba Baxa punches this kick out of bounds. And Miami, which has played mostly a mistake-free first half, commits its first penalty of the half.
Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, right hash. First and 10.
Good field position for the Rockets, and we check in with our man Chris Cotter. Chris.
Okay, first things first, proud of Andre for getting the workout in today on the road. Second of all, halftime coming up in just a little bit. Myself, Emmanuel Acho, and Jim Moore will be here in studio. Nebraska's in trouble right now, taking on Troy at home in Lincoln. They're losing. Georgia not losing. They continue to roll in Athens. Highlights of those games and a whole lot more coming up at the half. See you then.
Well, some good stuff to talk about at halftime.
Are we sure it will be an upset if Troy wins at Nebraska without Adrian Martinez?
No, no doubt about it. Yes, indeed.
All right. Guadani on the run. Maybe this is the big play Toledo need. Oh, Guadani got hit hard from behind. Sandwich there. Derek Smith was in on the hit. Jade Silvera, the defensive lineman as well. It's a run of 15 and a first down.
I'm trying to get one in here before the half ends. Get yourself on the scoreboard in some way, shape, or form. Some way, shape, form, or fashion, rather.
Cody Thompson. Tackled by just about everybody in a white jersey. 6 yards and another positive play. Don't forget, Miami gets the ball to start the second half.
That's why it's important here for Toledo to put something on the board. Get these big three receivers and Deontay Johnson, John Vay Johnson, and Cody Thompson involved here. It's been tough because the offensive line just hadn't provided the time necessary for Guadani. They're faced with some pressure coming here.
Guadani will give it on the ground to Seymour. Shakif Seymour. First down, Toledo with 1:47 to go. The Rockets have 2 timeouts remaining.
It's a nice play call where they get the end coming up the field, kick him out, and Seymour able to slide in right in a spot where he vacated.
Tempo here. Seymour takes the direct snap across the 30-yard line. 8-yard run. Clock continues to move under 90 seconds.
This is what they're capable of doing when they can establish tempo, and they actually caught Miami misaligned on the last 2 plays, and now they've got a player down. It looks like Jaquan Johnson, maybe. The All-American safety.
That is bad news.
I think he will be okay. That's one of those convenient, I'm going to go down, and the tempo is getting a little fast, and a little too much success is taking place.
You're smelling something fishy, you think?
Yeah,
from up
no
here?
doubt.
Okay.
Wasn't that good pizza I had last night either. Can't stop talking about it. So good.
Yeah. Well, we're going to need you to stop talking about it for a second. Talk about something else that's been so good. Miami defensively, 9 tackles for loss, 3 sacks.
Been impressive the way they've controlled the line of scrimmage, with the exception of this drive, and they have owned the trenches on both sides. Their offensive line and the running game, been impressed with that here in the first half, where they've struggled getting out of the gate. And then secondly, the defensive line just living in the living room of Mitchell Guadani. Right in his face each and every time he's back to pass.
Well, Jaquan Johnson does limp off the field.
Maybe cramps.
Second down and short.
A little humid here today, and so wouldn't surprise me if it's just cramps.
Yeah, it's a little sticky down in the field this foggy Toledo day. Guadani, second down, gets rid of it, and Johnson is wide open. That's John Vay Johnson inside the 15, and a first down for Toledo coming up from the Miami 11.
No, that apple didn't fall far from the tree. His dad, Jason, was a wide receiver for the Broncos, Steelers, and Saints from 1988 to 1991. He's got great speed at 10.5 in the 100 meters.
On the ground, Seymour. Big physical runner, Shakif Seymour, 225 out of Cleveland.
Give him credit, Kevin, for hanging on to the football. Gerald Willis, all 300 pounds of him, trying to strip the ball out of there, and Seymour's able to hold on to it.
50 seconds on the game clock now. Still 2 timeouts for Toledo, which can get a first down at the 1. Guadani keeps it incomplete out of the hands of Deontay Johnson.
Well, he's
he had a step too.
Maybe wishing that he would have given that one to Seymour. Now there was a hole there on the play fake to Seymour, and I know it was a design pass, play action, but boy, Seymour was going to run for a while. Watch here quickly. You see the isolation of the receiver. Actually wide open, Michael Jackson. Nothing he can do about that one.
Jason Candle wants a timeout before this third down play.
Yeah, it's a huge third down here to bring the first half of this one to a close for Toledo. Got to make sure you have the right play called here.
3rd and 6 from the 7. Again, Toledo can get a first down at the 1. Doesn't need to be a touchdown here.
That's exactly why I thought he was going to give it to Seymour the previous play. Now, Deontay Johnson did a great job of getting open, but that's a situation where you might have been thinking, get the first down, and Seymour, I almost think he may have gotten in the end zone. It looked so good.
They have been aggressive here in Toledo against these Power 5 teams. Mike O'Brien's brought a bunch of them in to the Glass Bowl. 8-5 since 1996. They beat then number 9 Pitt a decade and a half ago, and Larry Fitzgerald's Pitt team came in here. First time hosting a top 25 team in 4 years. This one as hotly anticipated as any. Capacity crowd. The official capacity is 26,038. They've got more than that. This is sellout plus.
Wouldn't surprise me if they ran the ball here and then went for it on 4th down.
Field goal wouldn't feel like much at this point.
Zone coverage.
All 3 receivers left with a Thompson motion. Guadani nearly intercepted and then caught by Deontay Johnson. Touchdown, Toledo.
What a job of concentrating on the football by Deontay Johnson. A slant route where he gets inside position. Watch him from the top, setting up nicely, and it's there in zone coverage. Nice job of keeping his eyes on the ball and adjusting.
Shaq Quarterman looked to deflect that ball on the way, but Deontay Johnson comes up with it, and Toledo gets a huge score before the end of the half.
Well, he had him open right off the snap of the ball. They go zone. You're going to see him skate outside and leave him wide open. And then it's just concentration. Sometimes the ball just falls in the right place, and it did there for Mitchell Guadani.
So Deontay Johnson with 2 touchdowns in 2 games this year after 13 last season. Cody Thompson set the school record for receiving yards in 2016. And with Cody out most of the year last season, Deontay broke it by 9 yards. He was a first-team All-MAC wide receiver, punt returner, and second-team All-Conference kick returner. And Jason Candle told us he's a Sunday guy, in his opinion.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And he's a guy that can make adjustments. 74 receptions, over 1,200 yards a year ago, and the 13 TDs that you discussed. He also averaged, Kevin, over 17 yards per reception. That's getting it. That's some production.
Sat out 2016 with some nagging injuries. He had played as a true freshman and now a redshirt junior. Might be some next level football in his future. Jamison Vest. Line drives it into the launch pad. Souvenir for a student. 37 ticks to go before halftime.
Great drive, a much needed drive by Toledo to stay in this game. And now the first order of business for Brian George, the defensive coordinator for Toledo, is not to give up any points. Certainly can't give up a big play, but you can't allow Miami to go down with 37 seconds left here in the first half and give up anything. And it looks like they're just going to be content to go into the locker room here in victory formation. You know, one of my big sayings is you can never score too many points in the first half of a football game. And so I just believe if there's time on the clock and I have the football, we're trying to score. if you're playing with me.
Well, I guess because Mark Richt gets the football to start the second half, maybe wants to be a little more careful. His team does lead by 14. They scored the first 21, 3 total touchdowns for Malik Rozier. And maybe the best news from Miami, the run game for the moment looks to have been fixed. 21-7 your halftime score. We're going to hear from Chris Cotter, Emmanuel Acho, and Jim Mora in the studio when we return. Right after these messages, 2-touchdown lead for the Hurricanes in Toledo. You're watching ESPN College Football presented by ExxonMobil. You're watching it from the Glass Bowl, the historic Glass Bowl in Toledo, which plays host today to its not exactly neighbors from the south. Miami is all the way up to Ohio, and the Canes lead by 14. The second year of this home-and-home series. Kevin Brown, Heisman Trophy winner, Andre Ware. Malik Rozier only completed 50% of his passes in the first half, but he threw for a touchdown, ran for 2 more.
Yeah, it was good to see by a team that actually is notorious for slow starts, especially this season. But today, a little bit different story. He's accounted for all 3 touchdowns that the Canes have scored in the first half. Got it started right up the middle, a nice quarterback draw. And you see here actually a nice block to set up this play where it's a nice quarterback draw and getting himself into the end zone. Then he follows that up with a touchdown pass over the middle. Took some contact there. Thompson with a reception. Then as well coming right back in the second quarter, getting himself in the end zone for a second time. Nice first half for Malik Rozier.
First half defensively, the U was outstanding. 9 tackles for loss, 3 sacks against Mitchell Guadani, the Toledo passer in his second career start. Rockets did get a late touchdown, though, 31 from Deontay Johnson. Beg your pardon, 7 yards to Deontay Johnson and a 31-yard catch on the drive, then the 7-yard score. Toledo will kick it away. Rozier and the Hurricanes, unless something wacky happens, start the second half with the football. Number 21 Miami and Toledo, the defending champions of the MAC, the Toledo Rockets, won their first conference title in 13 years last season, and they will start defensively this second half after a touchback from Jamison Vest.
I thought Malik Rozier showed some toughness in the first half, throwing blocks and then giving his body up to get in the end zone. And then even the touchdown pass that he threw, got hit, took one in the chops and stood in there and delivered for a touchdown pass. He's accounted for all 3 or had something to do with all 3 touchdowns the Canes have scored in the first half.
Miami very good running the ball as well, 129 yards, 5.9 per carry, and they will start on the ground with Travis Homer in a tough physical run for 10 and a first down. Remember, Andre, first half against Savannah State last week.
Yeah.
Miami ran for just 2.5 yards per carry. They more than double that today.
And Homer, the first half, over just about 4 yards per carry, and you mix that with DJ Dallas. It's been a nice 1-2 punch. DJ Dallas was over 9 yards a carry. Nice 1-2 punch by the backfield of the Hurricanes.
On first down, Homer with a short gain of 3. Reggie Howard, senior JUCO transfer from Fort Scott Community College in Kansas, made the stop.
Well, the offensive line, and I keep going back to it, but if you're going to have success on offense and you're going to criticize Malik Rozier, well, it's tough to throw the football when there's always someone in your face and then you don't have a running game you can turn to. They've done a nice job in both areas today.
Sun has come out for the second half of play. Rozier keeps it, hit as he throws, and that was a wayward toss. Intended for Thomas. Josh Teachy was right there.
Josh Teachy made a nice break on the football. A 3-year starter at safety, now in his senior year. And he's still looking for that first career interception and almost came up with it there.
Credit the big man Nate Childress with some pressure up the gut.
And now he's going to rush 4, play some zone, and hope to stop Miami from picking up this first down.
Canes were 2 for 5 on third downs in the first half. Rozier here up for grabs and incomplete. Brian Hightower was the target. Well defended as Rozier took another shot.
Slow to get up. It's just a 4-man rush, and that's to my point about you're only as good as the 5 guys in front of you. And if they can't hold them off, well, that's the look that you're going to have after every series. It's just a tough way to try to get the job done at quarterback.
Zach Fiegels, the son of Jeff, a 22-year NFL punter and former Hurricane. Got a high snap, fielded it, just got it off. That was nearly blocked. McKinley Lewis will let it bounce, and this takes a friendly Miami roll. Pressure came from Desmond Phillips, a junior wide receiver from Miami, who was previously a Miami commit. He nearly got 2 Fiegels there.
Yeah, the first half, Miami just living in the backfield. You see Bandy coming up from his corner spot. A lot of bodies around the line of scrimmage. Even in pass rush, they're right in the face of Guadani. Tries to run, quarterback run, being chased down by Joe Jackson. Batting passes down. I mean, it was just a first half of harassment until the last drive by the Rockets to put 7 points on the board. But owning the trenches were the Hurricanes in the first half.
Started on the ground, Shaquille Seymour. How would you diagnose that at halftime if you were Jason Candle?
Well, you got to take advantage of the aggression where you start to screen, show one way, screen away from it, where you get the flow of the defense going, quick passes. Even on one occasion, I remember a 3-step drop and a slant route. He couldn't even get that one off because he had pressure in his face. So you got to hold up. You just got to man up, do your job, and give your quarterback some time.
Guadani with time here, but nowhere to throw. Now finds a receiver crossing the middle. That's good for a first down to his back, Seymour, 10 yards for Seymour on the catch and run.
That's an excellent athletic play by Guadani, who seems to be that last drive before the first half ended seems to gave him a lot of confidence as he went right down the field and ended it with a touchdown pass to Deontay Johnson. He is playing with a little bit different swag here in the second half.
Taking over for Logan Woodside on the Titans practice squad after a record-setting career at Toledo. Guadani gives it to Seymour, plunges into the line, and Shaq Quarterman for maybe a half yard.
That's one where, and you heard me talk about it in the first half, Kevin, where you got to find a gimme pass on first down. Give me something where, even if it's a slot receiver and you're getting zone coverage and he's uncovered, raise up and just give it to him. Because first down, the Canes are loading the line of scrimmage, expecting run on first down.
Guadani on second down, going for Deontay Johnson. Nearly a carbon copy of that 31-yard toss in the first half. He beat Robert Knowles and Michael Jackson for 34.
Boy, that is an excellent throw. As you mentioned, identical. Same formation where they stack the receivers, looking it off, not telling the safety this is where I'm going, and he gets right behind Michael Jackson. Yeah, another run on first down. I mean, you have got to change that up if you're Jason Candle. They're expecting it. They're loading up the box, waiting on the run, and you got an injured Kane down. Looks like it's Gerald Willis, the big defensive tackle.
We have not seen Jaquan Johnson on this drive. Remember, he limped off at the end of the first half. So Miami without its leader in the back and maybe one of its leaders in the front. We'll check on Willis on the other side of this break. At the end of the first half, Miami's All-American safety Jaquan Johnson limped off the field. There he is on the stationary bike on the sideline. Well, he's out of the game. Gerald Willis, big defensive tackle up front, just limped off the field on that last play. So no number 4 and no number 9 defensively. Two of the playmakers for that ferocious Canes defense out of the game. A second and long for Toledo from Miami territory, and Guadani pressured immediately, but gets it to Art Tompkins out of the backfield, and Tompkins is run out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
Boy, excellent read by the first-year starter, Mitchell Guadani, and right down the field. They're going to go right to the line of scrimmage, keep tempo going, but finding Tompkins leaking out of the backfield. They get a blitzer off that edge and leave him with a free release. Nice job of identifying it.
31-yard play and back on the ground to Tompkins. He scores! Tompkins, the Toledo touchdown.
We got a ball game. We had guys leaving for cramps and big-time playmakers leaving the game with cramps. And Toledo has found its rhythm offensively.
And another Miami player is down, Trajan Bandy, starting cornerback. Bandy being attended to after the touchdown run. It's 13 in a row for Toledo on the scoreboard, and Miami starting to have defenders drop like flies. Trajan Bandy was ejected in the first drive of the LSU game 2 weeks ago for a targeting play, and he looks to be okay now on his feet and jogging over to the sideline.
Yeah, ironically, he got his first game action a year ago against Toledo. True sophomore. A couple of pretty talented corners in DJ Ivey and Al Blades behind he and Michael Jackson on the other side.
Guadani 3 for 3 on that drive. He picked apart those corners for 75 yards and a touchdown. Toledo goes 81 yards in 7 plays. Art Tompkins has his 6th career touchdown. We got a ball game in Toledo, folks. The Glass Bowl is alive.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by the Lexus RX, featuring pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, standard.
They've done a lot of push-ups here over the past 5 years. 46 wins the previous 5 seasons for Toledo. They are within 1 score of Miami. You're watching ESPN College Football presented by ExxonMobil, and you're watching, Andre, this big play Toledo passing game start to take flight.
Yeah, and you know, all of a sudden they figured out how to protect, how to give Mitchell Guadani a little bit more time, and then him picking up the blitzer off the edge, right in his face, knowing exactly where to go. Tompkins turning it into a big play. All of a sudden now, Toledo right back in this ball game. We got a good one.
It was a good one last year at Hard Rock. 52-30 was the final score. Miami pulled away late. This game, Miami led early, 21-0 late in the first half. Toledo with a late score for Deontay Johnson then, and a touchdown run for Art Tompkins on the Rockets' first drive of this half. Looking to slay another giant here in the Glass Bowl.
It's been an amazing run. You alluded to it, but 9 wins in the last 7 years. 9 wins in 6 of the last 7 years.
Not many in the group of 5 are better. Boise State, and then you get into Toledo's of the world right after that.
And the 1 year they didn't win 9 games, they were 7-5.
Yeah. Hey, ABC tonight, 2 teams that are used to winning 9 games. Ohio State and TCU at AT&T Stadium in Jerry World. Last game for the Buckeyes before Urban Meyer comes back. They beat Oregon State and Rutgers. A little bit tougher competition for the Horned Frogs now. ABC and live on the ESPN app. And a good quarterback matchup. Dwayne Haskins has been awesome so far. Sean Robinson, I'm not sure what kind of helmet that is that he's wearing.
I know one thing, at TCU,
it's like Speed Racer.
Yeah, they can play some defense now. It won't be an easy day there for Ohio State. Tell you what, this second half has been a little more difficult for Miami in terms of running the football.
Reggie Howard the stop. Only a yard for DJ Dallas on first down.
A lot of bodies around the line of scrimmage and a bit harder to block. You're getting second and long, and looks like Brian George going to play some zone here. This is when you can run the football on second down and get it back to third and medium.
Rozier handed off again to Dallas. He got hit initially, tried to bounce away, and could not. Tyler Tafe, the middle linebacker, 3-year starter, was first one there. Third down, 6 to go.
Fans are saying, why, second down and long, what are you running the football for? Well, you can't throw into coverage either. So it's an odd front where it's great blocking angles for the offensive line. Only 3 guys up front. You've got people spread out all over the place. It's an ideal situation to run the football and get your quarterback into a manageable situation here on third down.
Rozier only 6 of 14 in the game, and he's taken some shots. A late fourth rusher, Rozier with a clean pocket and a clean throw to Jeff Thomas. Run out at the 40, 11-yard catch, first down Miami.
Yeah, Kadir Holman, way too much cushion and a lot of respect for the speedy Jeff Thomas. Hey, you don't even see him in the frame. He's so far off. They run the switch route, and you see him there about 6 yards deep of the receiver, and it's a big window for Malik Rozier to throw that ball into.
Rozier. Line did a great job picking up pressure there. He's got Thomas, and Thomas makes the catch. Are you kidding?
What a catch.
41 breathtaking yards.
Out of East St. Louis High School, and this is about as good as you will ever see it done.
Back to the ground game, DJ Dallas. That is Miami's offense at its most explosive.
What an answer by the Hurricane offense. They give up a touchdown on Toledo's first possession of the second half, but they come right back and answer with the tune of DJ Dallas right up the middle of the defense.
19 yards on the run for Dallas, who wanted to crush the dreams, as he said earlier this week, of an upset-minded Toledo squad. We go 11 yards to Thomas on third down, then 41 to Thomas, and then 19 to Dallas to polish it off. 3 big plays to end the drive and put Miami once again up 14.
Well, they go to Dallas, but it's Rozier to Jeff Thomas, the over-the-shoulder catch, nice adjustment, and then they go to the big back, DJ Dallas, putting Miami up by 2 scores.
The brand new ESPN app, now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now.
Miami answered Toledo's drive with a touchdown strike of its own. 41-yard pass, Malik Rozier to Jeff Thomas, setting up a 19-yard run by DJ Dallas. And the Canes are looking to stave off another upset bid. Remember 2 years ago, they went into App State. Biggest game in Boone, North Carolina history for some folks, and Miami crushed the Mountaineers 45-10. A little more resistance today, but they lead by a couple of scores here in the third. Toledo football coming up. Off the kick from Bubba Baxa, who just drilled it out of bounds again. Boy, second time Baxa has knocked it out of bounds. It is extra yard for Teachers Week in college football. Week-long celebration of teachers led by the College Football Playoff Foundation through its Extra Yard for Teachers platform. You can visit their website, cfp-foundation.org, to learn more about Extra Yard for Teachers. And we spoke with Cody Thompson yesterday, standout wide receiver for Toledo. One of the teachers who had a profound impact on his life was Tony Logando, who was his math teacher in 4th grade advanced math, and then Cody's football coach at Huron High School in Ohio. Tony actually just retired a couple of years ago after 28 years as the head coach at Huron High. Cody telling us he gets his work ethic from coach and teacher Logando and from his dad. Wanted to point out the great impact that Tony has had on his life as we celebrate the lives and the work of so many teachers this week. Meanwhile, Mitchell Guadani gets a first down. That ball came out late.
Yeah,
Brown caused the fumble.
I think he was down, but a lot of zone coverage by the Canes, which is going to open up some pretty big running lanes for Mitchell Guadani.
There's another tackle by Quarterman, who's had a very active day in the middle of that Miami defense.
We're going to take a look at this. And if I'm Toledo, you should have something called to get to the line and snap it right away if you have a hint that it could be a fumble.
Jim Brennan's our replay official. This is our first replay of the game. Did the ball come out before Guadani hit the ground?
No, I think he's down, and then it squirts out. It's hard to see, and it's going to be indisputable video evidence, and I'm not sure you see when the ball actually comes out, but it looks like an elbow is down right there. Then the ball starts to come out, so I think this one will stand.
It was Michael Pinckney that hit him. Quarterman who came up with a football.
There's the elbow down. And you'll see the ball start to move around, so this one will stand.
It's an ACC officiating crew led by Gary Patterson today, and MAC replay officials led by Jim Brennan. And this is a pretty quick review.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed that the ball carrier was down. Miami is charged with timeout.
So confirmed, not stands. Yeah. That means that it was clearly the correct call. Elbow was down as we saw. First down, Toledo.
It went stand because that initial, the first replay that we saw when it was a crowd, you really couldn't see when. And then all of a sudden, they do a nice job of showing us that that the elbow was indeed down before the ball came out.
That was actually a coach's challenge by Miami, so the Canes just lost a timeout.
Please put 8-10
see if that manifests itself late in the game. Miami
the ball snap, 8-10.
With just 2 timeouts remaining now for the game.
Good to see Gerald Willis, the big defensive tackle, back in the game. He's had some game to this point.
Still haven't seen Jaquan Johnson after that first half injury. Top of the screen, Tompkins was guarded by Quarterman out left. Instead, Guadani will run it to the right. Back-to-back first down runs for Guadani. This time he gets 12, moves into Miami territory.
Yeah, he's going to have to, Manny Diaz is going to have to make some adjustments here and put a spy on Mitchell Guadani. Yeah, it looks like another injury along the Toledo sideline to a Miami Hurricane player. It's Romeo Finley, a strong safety.
And the good news for Miami, Bandy and Willis have returned after injuries, but they've had a bunch of players on the turf. End of the first half, beginning of the second, it was Finley going for the hit low on Guadani on that last play.
And Finley actually misses, and that may have been where he comes in contact with the turf to that side.
Finley is on his feet. That's good news.
Yeah, it's good to see.
Gives us a chance to pause and go back to the studio. Check in with Chris Cotter.
All right, guys, the running game in Oklahoma is now going to be either Marcellus Sutton or this man right here, Trey Sermon. Poor tackling by Iowa State. Great individual effort. 31-17 right now, Oklahoma over on ABC.
There's it. There's my man again. 16 of 21, 3 touchdowns. Kyler Murray.
I was going to bring it up, but you just beat me right to it.
We think alike sometimes.
When it's best. I won't be eating any seafood pizza, but for the most part, I agree with you. Guadani, complete to Johnson, turns on a dime. Deontay Johnson will score his second touchdown. All sorts of green in the middle of the field, and Johnson takes it for 40 yards.
Jason Candle told us this guy had NFL talent, and that play certainly shows you why the head coach of the Toledo Rockets feels that way. Right here. Stop, start, give it. 2 guys go down, and then a nice cut to get himself into the end zone. What an answer by the Rockets, striking right back after the Hurricanes put one in the end zone.
Turned and burned Trajan Bandy. That's a 7-point game again. These wide receivers for Toledo about as good as any. 2 scores for Johnson, back in 60 in a 1-score game. Well, with Jaquan Johnson out of the game, the All-American safety for Miami, Toledo has gone to the air with more and more success. Mitchell Guadani now 13 of 19. He's thrown for 222 and 2 scores. Both of them to Deontay Johnson. And the Rockets have an answer for Miami's touchdown.
Well, I like the grit of this kid, Guadani. Is standing in there fighting. He was harassed the entire first half. The offensive line, they seem to have ironed things out. He's made some nice runs and then a couple of nice touchdown strikes to Deontay Johnson. And I'm right back in this game.
Jeff Thomas will take it out of the end zone. Thomas, the dynamic kick returner, gets across the 25, so a good decision. Out to the 29, one more check-in with Chris Connor.
Guys, we showed you Akeem Butler, one of the great talents that Iowa State has at wideout. They've got Dave Montgomery, too. This guy can run the football. Again, Cyclones hanging in there over on ABC.
Well, Cyclones just won't go away.
There's Jaquan Johnson.
There's Jaquan Johnson. We've seen him get up. He's tried to run around a little bit. They just keep giving a lot of water and a lot of fluids. But they need him back in the ball game ASAP.
First down, DJ Dallas. Tough man to get down. 5 yards. Nate Childress was there for the stop.
Well, and if you're Toledo, you need to stop badly. If you're Miami, you feel it's kind of like running the open quarter, and you know a guy's got some kick left, and you keep checking over your shoulder, and you just can't pull away. That's the situation Miami's in right now with Toledo. You've got to keep running. You've got to keep scoring.
Second down, Dallas takes a pounding inside. He looks to be just a little bit short of that 40-yard line to gain. Third down coming up.
And Thomas Brown, the offensive coordinator, he and Mark Richt going to the running game, getting behind this big offensive line and allowing them to get some push for a guy like DJ Dallas, who's had a fine football game to this point. I'd run it again. I'd go ahead and turn around, give it to number 13 one more time to pick up this first down.
Got a fullback and Trayon Gray. Instead, it will be Gray for the first down in a gain of 2.
Second situation that Gray has been able to move the chains for the Hurricane offense.
Thomas Brown called him the biggest surprise of camp. He's a converted running back who really just plays fullback now. 6'2", 240. Kane spread it out for this first down play. Mike Harley gets the quick hitter, and he gets wrestled out of bounds. Tyson Anderson, a sophomore from St. John's High School in Toledo, and a gain of only a yard.
Totally understand the play call. You just got to get the football up the field, get vertical in a hurry. It's designed not to break one for a touchdown, but just to get 4 or 5 yards, get up the field. You're trying to run laterally. You're not going to outrun the pursuit. and then you wind up with just about a half yard to a yard gain.
Dallas stymied. No gain on second down. And a 3rd and long coming up for Miami. Richard Olekema, the senior captain, born in Nigeria, and he makes the stop to bring up a key 3rd and 9.
Yeah, we got a chance to visit with Richard Olekema last night, and wow, what a fine young man. His bounce back from an ACL tear, and he's now 100%. 2 years removed from it, playing some pretty good football.
Jeff Thomas in the slot left. Rozier on a comeback throw. It's reeled in. Lawrence Cager. First catch of the day for him. Chunk play for Miami for Cager. And a gain of 30 yards on 3rd and 9 for the redshirt junior.
Yeah, another situation with Justin Clark, the corner to that side. A little bit too much cushion. Big-bodied receiver. And a nice play there by Cager, reeling this one in for the first down.
First down run, Travis Homer. Miami has almost exclusively gone to that straight ahead run right now behind Tyler Gauthier, the second-year starter at center.
And then, you know, you look at the fact that Justin Clark, the corner that gave up that pass to Cager, he missed the first game with an ankle injury. He's got speed, but just not quite 100%. He's down at the bottom of the screen, matched up again in man coverage.
Once again, a homer. Miami, by the way, has Venzel Boulware, a grad transfer from Tennessee, who has another year of eligibility in the game at left guard right now. He's played some there. Jair Jones, the usual starter, but it's Boulware off the bench. 3rd down, tempo, and Homer is crunched by Jordan Fisher, the converted tight end in his first year at linebacker.
Well, it looks like Mark Richt's not going to hesitate to go for it here, but what a nice job of shedding blocks and then getting to the backfield. The skipper, big defensive end, does a heck of a job, and they need one more of those. Miami, we'll roll the dice here on 4th down, forget the field goal, we're going for it.
It's Homer with a fullback Gray leading the way. A first down for Travis Homer. 3 yards on 4th and 1.
Like it. Don't mess with the ball handling. Get him coming downhill. The fullback leading the way, and enough for a first down here.
Last year, only Wisconsin attempted fewer 4th down tries than Miami, but you have a true freshman kicker this year, Bubba Baxa. And the way they've been running the ball, you certainly understand that decision. Rozier play fake, going for it all, and he overthrew Brevin Jordan, the true freshman tight end.
And the message you send to your team is that you believe in the offensive line. I believe in you to convert and move the chains. And, you know, about 90% of the time, the team wants to go for it on 4th down, or that unit wants to go for it on 4th down anyway. So they're asking you for the trust. You show the trust if you're Mark Richt by going for it, and he's done a heck of a job there of picking up a first down and giving his unit another opportunity to get in the end zone.
Homer on 2nd down, trying to bounce it out. And a good open field tackle made by Tyson Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson trying to get the football out, trying to tackle the ball carrier as well as the football, and punch one out or strip it out of there. But if you're Toledo now, it's a small win if you can just hold the Hurricanes to a field goal attempt to get yourself off the field.
Miami 5th worst in 3rd down conversion last year in FBS. They're good today, though. They're 5 for 10 on 3rd down tries. Play fake for Malik Rozier with time. It's caught, and it's Langham needed the 6, and he has the 5 for a first down, gain of 8.
Boy, just too much cushion, and then you get an opportunity to make a play or a tackle in the open field. You got to come up under control. He's a big receiver at 6'4", 235. Tough to bring down in the open field. Got to make sure you break down and wrap up.
First and goal, Rozier with a lob. It is reeled in. Lawrence Cager, the 6'5" junior, hauls in the touchdown for Miami.
Nice job. They go to Langham to pick up the first down. A big receiver at 6'4", and then Cager at 6'5", 220. The redshirt junior finishes this thing off. Lets him battle. Holman thought he had a hand in there to get it out, but Cager with an excellent touchdown grab. Oh, what a game.
Lawrence Cager, 20 career catches, 6 touchdowns. And the extra point by Baxa just banged off the upright and through. Good bounce for Miami, which once again leads by 14.
Just going to throw the jump ball out here to Cager and let him go up, make a play. They're battling, and he just bodies up on Holman to come down with the football. I like the decision by Rozier. Give my big guy an opportunity, 6'5", working against 6 foot. Big height advantage. And he makes a nice catch. You got Darrell Langham, who they're working on now.
Monday Night Football this week heads to Chicago. That remade Bears defense led by Khalil Mack will try to chase down Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific on ESPN. Simulcast en Espanol on ESPN2. Coverage begins at 6 with Monday Night Countdown. Well, we saw the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, and Deshaun Kaiser, at least in the first half, running for their lives against Khalil Mack.
I know Andrew doesn't like that, or Spotter up here, but boy, Aaron Rodgers coming back into that ball game. My goodness. Bears going to try to get the ship turned in the right direction against a pretty good quarterback there in Russell Wilson.
Both teams in search of their first wins of the season. Seahawks lost a close one at Denver. And the Bears, of course, with a heartbreaker at Green Bay. So Malik Rozier has thrown for a couple of touchdowns, run for a couple, 4 total in the game. Deontay Johnson, can Toledo answer again? Start with a good kick return from Johnson out near the 40.
Well, this kid is a big-time player.
Let's check in with Chris Connor. Chris.
Kevin, Andre, this Seminoles game is ugly for Florida State. This is Tommy DeVito, the backup quarterback for Syracuse. He scores before fumbling the football. The Noles have twice as many penalties as they do first downs in this game. 13-0 the Cuse on ESPN.
Yuck.
My man, who's a Syracuse alum, smiling. A couple of them here smiling over that one, over that score.
That's just ugly in general.
Yeah, you'll take ugly if it's a win.
We are neutral here, Andre. No matter how many times you ask what time your Houston Cougars are playing today.
I'll figure that one out. It'll be on the ride to the Detroit airport. Be tuned in watching that one.
Hey, Mitchell Guadagni just ran for another first down. This is the one element. Obviously, he's not Logan Woodside as a passer, but this is the element Toledo didn't have, that dual threat ability. Guadagni, a very good runner. Bunch of first down runs in this half. Gave it up late there. Brian Koback upended. And the Kentucky transfer, the hometown kid Koback, runs for 13, runs over Robert Knowles, and has a first down.
Well, I tell you, sometimes not only the quarterback has to get in a rhythm, but the play caller, Jason Candle, the head coach, has to get in a rhythm of calling plays, figure out what's giving me problems, what can I get to. The end of the first half, he figured it out, and they have marched right down the field on a pretty good Hurricane defense.
A lot of Robert Knowles, a backup safety here in the second half. with Jaquan Johnson still on the sideline. Kobach is a tough physical runner, 6 feet 193. He got a late waiver approval, and he won his appeal to play immediately for personal hardship reasons. His mom, Mary, who lives in the Toledo area, is ill. So Kobach transferred from Kentucky, and he is running hard on this drive. To the fourth we go. Manny Diaz has the fingers high. His team leads by 14. A fun one in Toledo. Lost to LSU, a win over Savannah State. DJ Dallas leading the Miami huddle on the sideline, trying to fire up the Canes. Shaq Quarterman, beg your pardon, in the middle of that. He and Dallas have been fiery leaders for this team, but that Miami defense was gashed by Mitchell Guadagni and the Rockets in the third quarter.
Well, 9 of 9 tackles for a loss. Only 1 here in the second half. And there's Mitchell Guadagni, who's had a heck of a ball game. 13 of 19, 222 and 2 touchdowns and 14 rushes, 58 yards, and he's got him on the move again here in the fourth quarter.
Still no Jaquan Johnson as we begin the fourth quarter. The All-American safety from Miami has been out since late from the first half. On second down, it is a handoff to Bryant Kobach, his third carry in a row. Only 1 yard.
Something to go with that first graphic. 8 of Toledo's first 24 plays to start the game were for a loss. Since then, only 2 of their last 27 have been for a loss.
What's changed?
The offensive line play and the play of the quarterback, Mitchell Guadagni, getting the ball out on time, receivers making plays, and just kind of spreading this Miami defense out a little bit.
Guadagni on the rollout and throws it away. Has to be go for it situation here on fourth down. Down a couple of scores. Toledo will keep the offense on the field.
Well, I'd like to have seen either Seymour back in the game or Tompkins.
Maybe not.
Pounding that thing up the middle. And then you get to fourth and maybe a yard or so, and you can go ahead and go for it on fourth down, but they choose to bring the field goal kicker out.
Down by 14. Premature evaluation from here. Jamison Vest will try it from 47.
There's a lot of confidence in him. He says he's confident in him up to 55 yards. So career longs 49.
That one looks good. Missed from 42. Hits from 47. Still a 2-score game, but Toledo creeps a little closer. Miami should get the ball back here after Toledo field goal from Jamison Vest. The last Canes drive, a 6-minute, 11-second methodical drive. Some big third down conversions. And Malik Rozier hit Lawrence Cager with a 5-yard flip. 4 total touchdowns in the game for Rozier.
How about the afternoon this young man's had? A lot of criticism last week, and he has answered the bell.
Jamison Vest with a line drive kick. Jeff Thomas will field it at the 8. Thomas gets a block. And Thomas gets to the 25. One more time. It's been a busy Saturday. Let's check in on some more scores with Chris Cotter.
Yeah, it's been a busy Saturday for Syracuse offensively, and in a good way. That's Tommy DeVito to Ramian Pierce, making it 20-0. The Orange inside the Carrier Dome over on ESPN over Florida State.
I remember having a conversation with Dino Babers, and he says about the third year. It happened when he was at Baylor. It happened in his next job, and he felt like that was going to be the case at Syracuse. This is year 3, and they're starting to come around offensively.
They've got UConn next week, so if Syracuse wins this week, that's a 4-0 start. Meanwhile,
you're putting that one in your back pocket already.
UConn gave up 61 to Boise. What in the world's going on with Florida State? I mean, you almost lose to Samford one week, and come out and they're getting shut out right now heading into the fourth at Syracuse.
I'll tell you what I see when I watch a Florida State game, a lot of thinking on the field. Guys aren't flying around making plays. It looks like they're thinking their way through it. It's tough.
Rozier, airmail, a little bit too long for Will Mallory. Well, if you're a Miami fan, it's a pretty good day if you win and Florida State loses. Hurricanes need another third down conversion here after they were so good on the last drive.
And Toledo with the clock stopped at 13:34, and now it's become where you have to watch the clock as a Rocket fan. You need to stop here. You can't sit here and go toe-to-toe and score for score. You need to get off the field defensively and get the offense back out here.
Miami 6 of 11 on third downs. Rozier wide open. Lawrence Cager just got lost in the middle of the coverage and takes the ball to the Toledo 40, 32 yards, and another third down conversion.
And what a throw by Malik Rozier from one side of the field all the way back to the other opposite sideline over the defensive back, Justin Clark, and into the hands of Lawrence Cager to pick up a huge first down to move the chains.
13 of 23, 205, 2 touchdowns through the air.
Where's Jeff Thomas right now?
Jeff Thomas out of the game right now.
That's when, you throw a back-breaking completion like that on third and long to Cager. Now you got a defense that's down. I want the speedster on the field where I can just rear back and go deep.
Well, good news for you. He's in the slot right.
And he is a fun young player to watch. Jeff Thomas.
Already over 100 yards today. A lot of separation. But Miami will keep it on the ground, and Thomas throws a good block for Rozier. Malik Rozier, his third rushing touchdown of the game, and he quiets the launch pad. 37 yards out for Rozier, who has accounted for 5 of Miami's 6 scores.
I love unselfish players, guys that are superstars, and Jeff Thomas certainly a superstar, but he's going to throw a nice block here for Rozier right there at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. That allows Rozier to turn the corner, and showing you some speed was a 6'1", 212-pound senior quarterback. Well, I love the block just about as much as I love the touchdown run by Rozier.
Malik Rozier ran for 5 touchdowns all of last season. He has matched that in 3 games in 2018.
ESPN College Football is presented by the unexpected energy of ExxonMobil. Energy lives here.
It's a 3-score game in here once again. A lot of Miami fans have made the trip up here to Ohio. The cheering section as well. They've had a lot to love for Malik Rozier. Somewhat embattled. Redshirt senior quarterback, some accuracy issues, but boy, can he run it. 3 touchdowns on the ground, 2 in the air. 5 total, a career high for him. And Miami's lead is 18. I've seen the best of Malik Rozier in a lot of ways today, Andre.
Yeah, he started this game by throwing a nice block for Jeff Thomas on an end around. He was going to repay him a little bit later. Here, the first of 3 touchdown runs, a quarterback call right there, right up the middle. Then he throws a touchdown pass to Jeff Thomas, over the shoulder catch. That's the first touchdown pass. Then another quarterback run, getting himself into the end zone. He'll then find Lawrence Cager on a jump ball. Nice job here, climbing the ladder and making a play. And then repaying him, Jeff Thomas throws a nice block. Malik Rozier on his way to his 3rd touchdown run of the game.
And Mitchell Guadagni's intercepted. Trajan Bandy with a takeaway, and it's time for the turnover chain.
You know what's coming.
Trajan Bandy, the first one to wear it last week. He's the first one to wear it today.
They're waiting on that baby, and they are pointing to where is the turnover chain. There it is. That's my favorite. We had a lot of knockoffs around the country, but the turnover chain, it even has a song to go with it. I even like the song that goes with the turnover chain. You've heard the song, haven't you? Turnover chain. Turnover chain.
Fleetwood Mac?
No. I'm not sure who actually wrote the song, but I know for a fact it's sweet.
Listen to the wind blow, Andre. First takeaway of the game. Miami has it back. DJ Dallas sheds a couple of tacklers. A 3rd one now. DJ Dallas is not going to end this play on the ground.
Cannot get him down. Just can only escort him out of bounds. And maybe just shy of the first down marker. But this young man's had one heck of an afternoon in his own right. Both he and Homer, the 2 backs for Miami, have provided a nice 1-2 punch, a nice spark in the running game that really needed it coming into today's game.
By the way, the turnover chain song, my crack team of researchers tells me, is by Solo D.
Love it. Love it, Solo D.
I love Solo D. 2nd and inches, Miami. Keep it on the ground with Rozier off the fake. Rozier dragged down up high, and that's a penalty coming against Toledo to tack on to the first down run.
A big-time face mask by Jordan Fisher, the linebacker to that side. Just a handful of face mask of Malik Rozier.
Face mask. Defense. Number 2, half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Jordan Fisher, the converted tight end, in his first season at linebacker with a face mask penalty here.
I mean, it's clear, it's evident. You see him get beat outside, and once he reaches, there it is, and never lets it go. Miami trying to put this baby away right here.
We'll wind the play clock down. Snap it at 5. Give to Dallas. Tackled from behind by Reggie Howard.
Howard saw some time last year and you feel like he can really be a dominant force once they get to conference play. 6'3", about 280 pounds, quick inside, from Fort Scott, Kansas Community College.
He's a rare senior, Andre. Only 14 seniors. As talented as his Toledo team is, they are awfully young.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if they come back today with 10.5 minutes left, but they are going to win a bunch of football games in 2018.
Need to hold Miami to a field goal here. Keep this a 3-score game, and Dallas is gang tackled. Willie Rawson on the play. Miami content to bleed as much clock as possible with the 18-point lead.
Just trying to get that ball out, and I think first order of business as you're trying to get it into the end zone is just to hold on to the football. On a couple of occasions, Toledo not really tackling the runner. They're trying to tackle the football, so you have to actually there. DJ Dallas had to almost stop his momentum to make sure he didn't lose the ball.
Canes have lost 4 in a row to FBS opponents. Rozier spinning and fighting and down at the 1. Well, do you kick it here or up by 18? Do you go for the kill?
I think you try to put the nail in the coffin here and go ahead and go for it. You've had DJ Dallas, who's done an excellent job running between the tackles and as well. You got a big, strong quarterback in Malik Rozier. Quarterback sneak would be my favorite play here. Then that fullback Gray has done a nice job as well in short yardage situations. A lot of options.
It's Gray, and it's a touchdown. Trayon Gray finds the end zone for the first time, and Miami has put 7 scores on the Rockets.
That's one of those where you're trying to take the fight out of your opponent. I'm not going to line up and kick a field goal and give you some hope. I'm going to punch one in and take the fight out of you.
Fifth rushing touchdown for Miami today. Rozier with 3, Dallas with 1, and now the senior Gray with his first score. 261 on the ground for Miami today. Baxa adds the extra points. It started with a new chain. Turnover chain 2.0. Trajan Bandy the takeaway, and Miami gets the score. It was the craze that took over college football last year. The turnover chain might not have been the first one to do something of that nature, but they certainly did it the best. 31 takeaways last year, tied for 3rd in FBS play, and they started out 10-0. The turnover chain is a new one this year. Sebastian the Ibis. It's 1 kilogram heavier, a little bit bigger, 4,000 stones compared to 900 last year. Manny Diaz, again, the brainchild behind this, the defensive coordinator. Credit to A.J. Machado, the jeweler who made it. And Trajan Bandy was the first one to get it last week. Malik Young put it around his neck last week. Suffered a career-ending neck injury last year, and special moment for him as a student assistant. Hey, what's going on in Lincoln, Nebraska right now? Let's check that with Chris Cotter.
All right, guys, it's not good if you're a Nebraska fan, that's for sure. Here's B.J. Smith, his second touchdown through a gaping hole. Where are the black shirts? Nowhere to be found in Lincoln right now. An 11-point lead for Troy late.
Boy.
Again,
tough.
Are we shocked? Troy's good. Nebraska didn't have Adrian Martinez.
This is Nebraska with Scott Frost coming home.
It takes some time, though, right?
Of course it's going to take some time, but you're at home and you just doesn't feel like you should lose to Troy or be behind to Troy in that ball game.
Well, Miami's defense has a renewed sense of vigor. Joe Jackson with a for a loss on Shaquille Seymour, -3 on the play.
Boy, there's just so much speed on this Hurricane defense. When they get going, boy, it is hard to slow them down. They were just absolutely dominant in the first half. Into the first half, Toledo finally got themselves going.
Seymour, he'll lose more.
Well, they had only 1 tackle for a loss at one point here in the second half. That's 2 in a row on back-to-back plays, living in the backfield and recreating the offensive line, or the line of scrimmage, so to speak, and going the wrong way are the Toledo Rockets. Well, it's amazing how, one side of the ball feeds the other. The offense gets going, Malik Rozier gets going, and then now the defense starting to really step their game up.
Tito Odenigbo, the grad transfer from Illinois, was in on that last play. Guadani, he's sacked. Michael Pinckney picks up his 7th career sack, first of the year. 3 consecutive negative plays for Toledo.
And Pinkney, one of the better linebackers, a 3-year starter, along with Quarterman and McLeod, but he's going to live in the backfield. He's an excellent pass rusher when they turn him loose on blitzes. Certainly a passing situation there, and you know he's coming. Able to turn the corner and make another play in the backfield.
So 4th and 1,000. Punt is away from Bailey Flint. And the good news here is the punt cleared the first down marker by quite a bit. On 4th and 29, Flint with a punt of 57. College football rankings are presented this week by All Stakes. Big games for Alabama and Ole Miss tonight, and Oklahoma's in a dogfight right now over on ABC, just up 7 in a revenge spot at Iowa State. Well, Malik Rozier was awesome today, and his day appears to be done. N'Kosi Perry breaks the huddle for Miami, up 49-24. And Thomas Brown told us he wanted to get Perry some reps, just a matter of when. Didn't want to rotate quarterbacks. And obviously Rozier did just about nothing to lose a job today. But Perry, the terrific redshirt freshman, gets some run late. Starts with a handoff to DJ Dallas. This is a very talented kid, N'Kosi Perry.
Had a heck of a game last week. 9 of 14. He was 64%. He threw 3 touchdowns in that ball game against Savannah State. A 4-star recruit out of high school.
.6'4", 195.
Some athlete.
Big arm and a good runner. And the fan base has really taken to Perry, who got his first action last week after being suspended for the LSU game for a violation of team rules much earlier in the year. And he was in a pretty good class of quarterbacks, N'Kosi Perry. This was our top dual threat quarterbacks coming out of high school in 2017. You've heard of these other 3.
Some pretty good ones.
Sure. Just to give you an idea of where Perry stood coming into college, Tagovailoa, Mon, and Ellinger all starting for their respective teams and all played quite well last week. May not be N'Kosi Perry's job this year, but in the future he appears to be the odds-on favorite. Lorenzo Lingard, blue chip true freshman running back in the game. He picks up a yard on first down. You know, people have asked the question last year and coming at the start of this year, is the U back? And you lose 33-17 to LSU, it deflates some things. If Miami is back, if the U gets back, it'll be because of players like Lingard and Perry. And maybe they're not going to contribute right now, but they're starting to build more depth, great young blue chip depth, recruiting very well down in South Florida and the surrounding areas.
I would throw DJ Dallas in there as well, along with Jeff Thomas. You know, those are just outstanding athletes who are going to contribute in a major way for this Hurricane offense. And then you flip over to the defensive side, you know, they're just going to always have playmakers and big bodies in the trenches to slow offenses down. So, well, they have a very, very bright future. There's a guy we haven't really talked a lot about, Brevin Jordan, a true freshman tight end from Bishop Gorman out in Las Vegas that they really, really like at that position. So there's a lot of brightness ahead for this Hurricane program.
They go home next week. They get Florida International and start ACC play. Lingard, who can really run, gets a third down handoff. Fourth down, and N'Kosi Perry will keep the offense on the field. Should be the first win against an FBS team since last November the 18th, when Miami beat Virginia to go to 10-0. Canes were ranked second in the nation, lost to Pitt, crushed in the ACC title game by Clemson. Lost in the Orange Bowl to Wisconsin. Dropped the opener to LSU, and we're going to win a second straight since then.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty is declined.
Take the delay of game so the
clock will start.
They give the punter, Fiegels, a little more room here.
Toledo declined the penalty because they don't want to get him more room.
I would always decline it.
Yeah. Hey, number 1 Alabama. We just mentioned Tua Tagovailoa. The Tide are off to Oxford. 7 Eastern, 6 Central tonight. They get Ole Miss. Take the over. Alabama won this game 66-3 last year, but the Rebels did get them in 2014 and 15. And there's some fun recent history between those two. Zach Fiegel's punt. Oh, no.
So close.
Travis Homer, who's still playing special teams, could not keep it out of the end zone. Well, today's been a good day for Miami in most every way. The one bad news, or at least the worst news, Jaquan Johnson has not played the entire second half.
Yeah.
Certainly his status will be updated after the game by Mark Richt. He came out late in the first half.
Yeah, it was during a drive in which a tempo team, and you'll see him here at the top of your screen, and usually coaches, when a team has momentum and there's tempo, they'll have a player go down, but he goes down with an injury. We thought we would see him back in the ball game. He was on the bike at one point and was trying to get back in the game, and we have yet to see him. We hope so. Next week we actually will see Miami again as we travel down to Coral Gables, and look forward to seeing that talented young player compete against Florida International next week.
3:30 next week. Stay tuned to your television guide if you still read such things, either ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU. Eli Peters, a new quarterback for Toledo, signed to play at Illinois and left there because of the coaching change. Ryan Koback with a 5-yard run to set up third down.
They've got a couple of good young players behind Guadani at quarterback, watching them throw it around. Carter Bradley's a true freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida, that I was really raving about. So a lot of talent on this Toledo team that will be around for a couple of years.
Peters leaves it long for McKinley Lewis. The cool thing about the Toledo quarterback battle is that Eli and Mitchell Guadani are best of friends and roommates, and have been very supportive of each other throughout the whole process. Guadani named the starter late in camp, and certainly didn't do anything to lose that today. Had some tough drives, but Guadani also put together a number of big volume plays against a speedy Miami defense. We expect to see him out there next week as Toledo will host Nevada. DJ Dallas will hang on to this kick at the 34. Sports Center tonight after a long day of college football on ESPN. Stan and Neil will be joined by Herbie to break down Ohio State and TCU. Memorable sights and sounds from Saturday, and you never want to miss this. Stephen A. and Teddy after a big fight. Canelo and Triple G, 1 a.m. Eastern after Washington, Utah tonight. ESPN and the ESPN app. Who you got, Andre Ware? Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G.
Oh, boy. I got Triple G in this one.
Okay.
Drawing the first one. I just think if it gets later in the fight, Canelo seems to always wear down as the fight gets into the later rounds, and that's where I think Triple G can really take advantage of it. He's going to have to weather the storm though early with Canelo, because he is going to come out with in a pretty aggressive way. But if he can weather the storm, get to about the 5th round or so, I think Triple G's got a chance.
Okay. Andre Ware, Heisman winner, college football analyst, boxing aficionado, pool shark.
Love some boxing, man.
Champion of Milky Ways.
No, I'm a Snickers guy.
Not earlier you were it.
Well, that's because that's all I had up here was was Milky Way.
Kneel down time right now for Miami and Mark Richt. Hey, it's a 25-point road win at what we think is a pretty good team here in Toledo. Maybe this won't be the signature moment of the season for Miami, but it's important to get back on track after that opening loss and then a game against a school that's going to drop to D2 in Savannah State. You can only take so much out of. This is a good building block for the U.
Yeah, somewhere between LSU and Savannah State lies Toledo. And I just think they've got a lot of wins ahead of them on their schedule. Miami obviously proving today that they aren't what they showed against LSU, and they're a much better team than given credit after that loss to LSU, the opening game of the season, when they made a tremendous amount of mistakes.
Malik Rozier's had two of the best games of his career against Toledo. Career high in completions and completion percentage last year. Career high in touchdowns for him this year. Last year was 52-30 in Coral Gables. This year 49-24 in Toledo. The Canes knock off the Rockets on the road, and they move to 2-1. Meeting of the head coaches at midfield, Mark Richt and Jason Candle, who both have these programs going in the right direction. Miami back home next week for FIU as they'll look to make it 3 in a row before the start of ACC play. So, long day of college football ahead. And it starts with a Miami win by 25 here at Toledo. For the foreseeable future, Miami's road trips to Group of 5 games are out of the picture. Hurricanes win it. They're 2-1. Rockets drop to 1-1 with the loss. We send you now to the folks in the studio and College Football Scoreboard here on ESPN2 after a 25-point win for Miami.
Thank you, Kevin. Andre.